Hey, good people, we need to talk about the MAGA Civil War because it's a plot twist nobody saw coming, except maybe anyone with common sense. MAGA voters are out here cheering on Elon Musk, the not so American South African tech bro, and Vivek Ramaswamy, the Indian born culture critic. These two are now duking it out with MAGA diehards like Laura Loomer over immigration policies. And the irony is so thick, you could spread it on toast. Let's dive into this mess and make sense of the comedy gold. MAGA's Southern hero from South Africa, not South Carolina. First off, let's talk about the hilarious confusion that is Elon Musk. MAGA voters really thought America first included a billionaire from South Africa. Bless their hearts. They heard I'm from the South and assumed he meant South Carolina or South Dakota, not realizing they just crowned an immigrant as their hero. And let's talk about Elon Musk for a second, the so-called genius billionaire who paid $44 billion dollars for a website that's now what? A $19 billion digital wasteland. Like, congratulations on turning Twitter to a dollar store version of Reddit. That's not an investment. That's the world's most expensive L. Like, bro, you bought a bluebird and turned it into a dead pigeon. Congrats. Then there's PayPal. He didn't even build PayPal. He got booted out before it got big. So basically, his greatest contribution to PayPal was leaving it. That's it. He was basically the intern who went viral for quitting on his lunch break. Now, SpaceX or BoomX, bros out here making bottle rockets for grown-ups, and more than 100 of them have straight up exploded. The rockets, yeah, they just blow up. Dudes had over 100 failed launches. That's not innovation. But yeah, keep telling yourself this is the guy saving humanity. Dude's just launching expensive fireworks, but y'all can keep calling him a visionary. The only vision I see is taxpayers funding his hobby. While we are all up in Mr. President Musk business, we gotta talk about the government contracts. Elon out here eating off Uncle Sam's plate like he's at Thanksgiving dinner. He's basically a corporate welfare king. Nah, scratch that. He's the dude standing outside the bodega asking for $1. Except he's wearing a Tesla jacket and using your money to blow up rockets and ruin social media. But yeah, y'all keep calling him a genius when in reality, he's a professional welfare recipient with a tuxedo. Honestly, the only thing he's really innovated is how to finesse Uncle Sam. That's his real superpower. Let's not forget Musk's alleged labor violations at Tesla and SpaceX. Racism lawsuits, wage theft, unsafe working conditions. He's already been accused of treating his own employees like dirt. So what made you think he suddenly cared about American factory workers? Spoiler alert, he doesn't. Now, the real fallout with MAGA and the Musk version of America First strategy is that it involves laying off tens of thousands of white American workers while hiring immigrants on H-1B visas. In fact, after Musk bought Twitter, he axed 80% of the workforce, around 6,500 jobs, and replaced many of them with foreign contractors. MAGA voters wanted someone to run the country like a business, and boy, does Musk plan to deliver. He's running it like his business, which means cutting costs and hiring whoever will work for less. Now, we have Vivek, the culture vulture critic who hates your culture. Yes, the Ramaswamy himself, Vivek Ramaswamy, who's out here insulting American culture in every tweet. Vivek essentially says that American workers are way too lazy and mediocre to compete with immigrants. MAGA. This man just called us prom queens, jocks, and Saturday morning cartoon garbage. He literally said America hasn't prioritized excellence since the 90s and blamed normal Americans for not being good enough to keep their jobs. Vivek's rant about how immigrant kids weren't allowed to watch Boy Meets World or Friends is wild. He's out here saying you should have spent your childhood building robots instead of watching CGIF. MAGA folks, election is over. And you know what that means. No more insulting immigrants. It's your turn, MAGA. He's calling you lazy and mediocre. This is just a start. The white nationalists got played. Let's not forget diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. The so-called communist socialist program from hell, created by the devil. Well, guess what? The same white nationalists who thought DEI was reverse racism are about to need a little inclusion. Elon Musk and Vivek usually hire immigrant engineers at record rates in their companies, leaving unqualified MAGA voters in the dust. If you want to compete, you might need that DEI lifeline after all. Turns out being mediocre isn't going to cut it in the Musk America. Oh, guess who's about to be begging for DEI programs? That's right. The same uneducated racist people who thought Elon Musk was their savior. Musk and Vivek will be making sure immigrant engineers get those high paying jobs, while MAGA voters are stuck on LinkedIn wondering why nobody's calling them back. Turns out DEI might have been your only shot, bucko. And here's the kicker. MAGA folks hated the immigrants coming from Haiti and Venezuela, the ones who were willing to take the so-called dirty jobs that white Americans wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. They voted to deport them, thinking they were protecting their jobs. But now, Elon and Vivek plan on bringing highly skilled immigrants to take all the good jobs. The joke writes itself. Run it like a business fights back. Remember when MAGA voters said they wanted the country ran like a business? Well, congratulations. It's happening. Musk and Vivek are running it like a tech startup, which means doing whatever is profitable, even if it screws over the people who voted for it. MAGA folks, you didn't want the country ran like a democracy. You wanted it to run like Tesla. And now you're shocked that the guy who laid off thousands of American workers to boost profits plan on doing the same thing to you. Cry me a river. Y'all wanted the country ran like a business, but businesses don't care about your feelings, patriotism, or loyalty. They care about profits. Musk and Vivek don't care if your granddad worked in a factory for 40 years. Heck, they don't care if you stormed the beaches of Normandy. They care about how to squeeze more profit by hiring immigrant engineers who work harder for less money. Now you're crying because they delivered. The great duping. MAGA voters, you got played. You wanted a savior who would bring back jobs, protect your culture, and stick it to the left. Instead, you got a South African billionaire who's replacing you with immigrant engineers and an Indian-born politician who thinks your prom queen culture is trash. And don't even look to Trump to save you. He's already on Team Elon. Turns out Trump loves H-1B visas. He uses them to staff his golf courses instead of hiring Americans. And let's be real, Trump only hires Americans every 4 years for campaign seasons. Oh, and in case you forgot, his wife isn't American either. Trump doesn't hire American, marry American, or even buy American. So good luck with that. The Donald has spoken. Yes, the Donald has spoken loud and clear. And he ain't talking about hiring Americans anymore. And now it's more like hire anybody but those lazy Americans. So let's get this straight. Trump stood on his stage, puffed his chest out, and yelled, "We will build American, buy American, and hire American." And 2 minutes later, he's got a stack of H-2B visas on his desk. I mean, you gotta admire the hustle. Distract the crowd with some anti-immigrant fire, then turn around and hire 209 foreign nationals to run the show at Mar-a-Lago. At his rallies, immigrants are rapists, drug dealers, and murderers. At Mar-a-Lago, they're bartenders and waitresses. You can't make this up. $16 an hour, 16 bucks to smile and serve mimosas. Of course, Trump's not running this scam alone. Enter Elon Musk, aka Mr. Free Speech, who's out here hiring 742 foreign workers on H-1B visas in 2024, hiring folks who won't question the 90-hour work weeks at Tesla. These two built their brands off America first. But when it comes to cutting checks, they're like, anyone but Americans, please. Make America gullible again. You hated Biden's immigrants because they were poor and from undesirable countries. Now you're stuck with Musk and Vivek's immigrants, highly skilled, highly paid, and ready to compete with you for the jobs you thought
you were protecting. Meanwhile, the billionaires you idolize are laughing all the way to the bank.
So, the next time you're mad about losing your job, don't blame the immigrants. Blame the guy you worshiped because you thought he was from the South. Turns out the only thing he's from is the South African Apartheid Club. This isn't just hypocrisy, it's poetic justice. MAGA voters put their faith in two immigrants, one from South Africa, one from India, thinking they were the saviors of American culture. Now you're finding out the hard way that their version of saving America involves replacing you with workers who are better educated, harder working, and frankly, less dramatic. The lesson here is simple. Hate never wins. You spent years hating immigrants from undesirable countries only to lose your jobs to immigrants from desirable countries. You wanted the country run like a business, but businesses aren't charities. They don't care about your patriotism, your culture, your MAGA hat, or American flag tattoos. Until next time, thanks for watching.